Hello, and welcome back to Spittin Sports with Lamar. I am Casey Lamar, and I'm coming at you from the 256. Today is college football pick'em. Unfortunately, David and our schedules didn't meet up, so today I'll be flying solo. But I do have his picks and his what he wanted to say about those games. So we'll still have both of our picks in the video. But as far as last week went, we both went 5-5. We chose every game the same way somehow, but we went 5-5 each, which puts David at 18-15 overall, and it puts me at 19-14 overall. But for today, I'm just going to go ahead and get right into the picks for today. But the first game we have on the list for this weekend, only because last year Syracuse beat Clemson, but we got Syracuse at number 3 Clemson, 11 a.m. on ABC. Just for reference, Clemson is 25.5-point favorite as of the time I took these notes. As far as David said Clemson has had a rough week with the loss of Bryant. Obviously, Kelly Bryant transferring, as we all know at this point. I'm sure that's divided the locker room, but it will not be enough to affect the outcome of the game. And he takes Clemson. I have to agree with him. I don't necessarily agree with the divide in the locker room part. Sure, that they're friends with both guys, but the team's got to understand at some point. Dabo knows what he's doing. He's going to pick the guy that he believes is the guy that's playing quarterback. But for him to just split in the middle of the season after he started some games, it's I don't like it so much, but I understand why he's doing what he's doing. But I too am taking Clemson in that football game. In the next game we have here, number 12 West Virginia at number 5 Texas Tech, 11 a.m. ESPN2. West Virginia is only 3.5-point favorite. In David's pick, he said he's going with West Virginia just because he hasn't been impressed with Tech. I have to agree. West Virginia has a top 3 Heisman candidate in Will Grier. The guy's he's a baller. The guy just slings the ball around, touchdown after touchdown. 400 yards, 500 yards, doesn't matter. He's anybody that he's played so far in Tech. We saw what happened to them playing Ole Miss with a quarterback that can throw the ball and a good receiving core. I'm also taking West Virginia, and I'm taking West Virginia by 10, at least 10. But I say West Virginia wins that football game as well. Number 3 on the list, we are picking 11 games today, but number 3 on the list for today's set of games, we got Baylor at number 6 Oklahoma, 2:30 p.m. ABC. Oklahoma's 23.5. And he just said, David said, Oklahoma, walk in the park, Sooners by a lot. I agree that Oklahoma's going to win. Baylor, much improved over last year. I think they won 2 games overall, 1 game total last year. They lost to Liberty. They were and they currently still are dealing with the repercussions from that whole situation that went down there. I take Oklahoma too. I'm saying they don't cover that spread, but of course we're picking straight up. I think it's closer than what a lot of people think, but Oklahoma, I think, in the end wins pretty easily. I don't think they repeat what they did against Army last week. Number 4, excuse me. You got Florida traveling to number 23 Mississippi State, 5 o'clock on ESPN. Mississippi State is a 7-point favorite. Very interesting game here because Dan Mullen's returned to Starkville only one season, not even a whole season. It's the next season that he left to go to Florida because he was the head coach of the Mississippi State Bulldogs last season. He said, I'm thinking this may be the game that Mullen gets it turned around, homecoming for him, and he said he's going with the upset and he's going with Florida. I think there's going to be a lot of intensity with this football game. Because not only is he playing Mississippi State, he's playing Mississippi State in the place that he coached for so long and brought that program to relevance. Before that, they were a laughingstock of the SEC, and he brought them year in and year out. They were winning 8 games a season. Dak Prescott, one of his quarterbacks, obviously he recruited Nick Fitzgerald. I'm going to have to disagree with David on this one. I'm going the Bulldogs after they got embarrassed by Kentucky last weekend. I'm going the Mississippi State Bulldogs. To win that football game at home and get their revenge, as you could say, against Dan Mullen. 5th game on the list here, Virginia Tech at number 22 Duke, 6 p.m. ESPN2. Duke is a 4.5-point favorite. We all know what happened last week. They were ranked 13th, and then they went to Old Dominion, 0-3 Old Dominion, and got beat. One of the worst losses you'll see all season, and one of the worst losses ever. It may be the worst loss for Virginia Tech ever. Well, they did lose to James Madison one time, but nonetheless, very, very bad loss. David said, he's going with the Hokies. He said, I think another upset in the making here, and he's going with the Hokies. I'm going to disagree again with David here. I'm going the Duke Blue Devils. I like what Duke's doing, flying under the radar. They're ranked 22nd, just kind of sneaking through the ACC. Nobody's paying attention to Duke. I think they beat Virginia Tech, and people start to take notice a little bit more. But I really do like Duke in that football game playing at home. The next game, the biggest game of the weekend, you got number 4 Ohio State headed to number 9 Penn State, 6:30 p.m. ABC. Ohio State is a 3-point favorite, and David says this could be a classic, a must-watch for sure. But I think Meyer and the Buckeyes will be too much, and he's going with the Ohio State Buckeyes, of course. Again, I'm disagreeing. I picked Penn State to come out of that division. McSorley at home. We all saw what happened last time. Unranked Penn State played Ohio State at home. Blocked field goal to end up sealing that game and winning it for Penn State. I'm going the Beavers. Not the Beavers. I'm thinking Beaver Stadium. I apologize. The Nittany Lions. I'm thinking Beaver Stadium. Beaver Stadium's too much for Ohio State again this year. I apologize. I meant Beaver Stadium. I said I'm going with the Beavers. I meant to say I'm going with Beaver Stadium and the Nittany Lions. But anyway, I'm going with the Nittany Lions. Give me Penn State with the win at home, beating Ohio State. Doesn't eliminate Ohio State from playoff contention, obviously, but I do take the Nittany Lions in that football game. Game number 7 on the list here. Number 7, Stanford travels to number 8, Notre Dame. 6:30 p.m. NBC. 5.5-point favorite is Notre Dame, obviously because it is a home game. And David wants to say, first off, thanks TV. This game and the Ohio State-Penn State game at the same time. Ohio State-Penn State on ABC, Stanford Notre Dame on NBC, both at 6:30. I'll need a new remote after Saturday. Anyway, he said he's going Notre Dame. Going to be touchdown Jesus. Notre Dame wins the football game. Again, I'm disagreeing. Stanford's quarterback play. I know Notre Dame made the change last week, and that paid off big time against Wake Forest. But Stanford with KJ Costello and Bryce Love, Stanford goes on the road and gets it done. Stanford may have the hardest record in football. I mean, Notre Dame's got a hard record as well. But I think Stanford, they travel to South Bend and they get the job done. Give me the Cardinal in that football game. Man, we're really disagreeing this week. Game number 8 on the list I have here. South Carolina at number 17, Kentucky. 6:30 p.m. SEC Network is the station. Kentucky is a 1-point favorite. David said he thinks it's a critical game for South Carolina and Will Muschamp. If he loses this game, his seat gets a little bit warmer or starts to get warm in general. And he says he's going Gamecocks with the upset, the mild upset. We are going to disagree again. After seeing Kentucky, what they did to Mississippi State, I'm drinking the Big Blue Kool-Aid at the moment. And I'm going to drink a little bit more today. I got Kentucky in a close one, 7 points at the most, but I'm going to go Kentucky at home in a close one. And it just keeps getting closer to that game with Georgia for Kentucky. But obviously they still got a long way to go to get to the Georgia game in November. But this is just another step towards that. Kentucky gets the job done against the Gamecocks at home. We got game number 9. We got number 20 BYU at number 11 Washington, 7:30 p.m. on Fox. Washington is a 17-point favorite. He said Washington. David says Washington seems to have gotten back on track since their loss to Auburn, and he said he's going Huskies. I'm going to have to agree. I'm going to say Huskies close. Maybe a late field goal to win that game. BYU, I mean, they lost to Cal, but Cal is now ranked in the top 25 this week. BYU, of course, they went on the road and beat Wisconsin. but I just don't think they go on the road and beat Washington. I'm gonna go Washington by 3. They just eke it out. Keep their what little playoff hopes they have alive. I'm going Huskies as well in that game. We're going back to the SEC for this one. It's Ole Miss at number 5 LSU, 8 o'clock ESPN at 10.5. I'm sorry, I was trying to figure out what David put here, but it's supposed to be Coach O speak. He said, "Oh, go Tigers," but he said, "Sorry for the Coach O speak," but it is the Tigers of Baton Rouge that get the job done. Yeah, the Bayou Bengals here, they get the job done pretty easily. They're not a team to just blow somebody out crazily. I think LSU controls the game and they win. They win pretty easily. I'm not gonna say they're gonna win by 20 plus points. They very well could, but I think LSU gets the job done relatively easy. Nothing too crazy in that football game, especially on their home field. We all know how Tiger Stadium is at night down there at LSU. I'm taking the LSU Tigers to win that ball game. And the last game here that we have for the weekend, number 19 Oregon travels to Berkeley to take on number 24 California. 9:30 p.m. on Fox Sports 1 FS1. Oregon is a 1.5-point favorite. And David says, "Quack to the quack. I'm taking the Ducks, Oregon." I'm gonna have to agree with him too. There, last week there's no way, no reason that Oregon should have lost that game, but they found a way to lose it at home against the Stanford Cardinal. And Oregon actually moved up a spot after an overtime loss. California, it's the first time they've been ranked in a long time, but I just don't think they're ready to play Justin Herbert and the Ducks of Oregon. And I'm going to take the Oregon Ducks as well in that football game, along with David. But that does complete our picks for the week. This is the most picks we've had so far this season. 11 games, 11 good games going on this weekend. But I just look forward to all the action. I hope you guys do too. Go ahead and leave what you're looking for. And when I say what you're looking for, I'm not saying give me your picks. I'm saying, like, what games are you excited about? Or what player do you want to see? Or what do you want to see happen? Like, those kind of things. What are you looking at? Not necessarily who's winning the game or who's going to pick the game or to give me a pick for the game. Just tell me what you're looking at and what you're looking for out of the games this weekend overall. Not just give me your game picks. If you want to give me your game picks, that's totally fine as well. That works just the same. But if you did enjoy this video, give a big thumbs up, share the video, and subscribe to the channel. Like I said, it's always greatly appreciated. Your support is always appreciated, and I take notice. I know I talk about it. I've probably talked about it every video this week. But anyway, this has been Spittin' Sports with Lamar. I am Casey Lamar. I'll see you all Monday.